These are the seasonal campers. They do their own yards, their own flowers. And if you go through the campground, you'll see that there's over 70 flower beds. Some we take care of, some the seasonals take care of.
Some of the campers that you get here aren't just local people. You get people from all over the country.
Yes, we do. Our milkweed patch is special for some people from Texas. They come every year and take care of the milkweed patch. Portugal.
Portugal.
We called from Portugal for a reservation and they showed up. We've had New Zealand, Australia, England, Japan, mostly from the central United States. We're getting some from Illinois, Indiana. The fly fishermen come because of this being the driftless area. And we've been featured in a couple of their magazines for the fly fishermen, so they know about us.
That's so unique, so unique. The nicest part about what you're telling me from people from all over the world is what they see when they get here. It is certainly a gem, and it's not a diamond in the rough. There's no roughness here. This is just pristine, beautiful acreage. You had mentioned too about the wildlife here, the birds. What other kind of wildlife besides birds do you?
Well, we watch the deer and the turkey, and our people see this is a seasonal site and they're feeding the birds. They have a little tomato plant back there and sandbox for their grandkids. This is a family campground. You see all the chairs. Anybody needs a chair around the campfire, they know where to come and get it.
This little dry creek here, I guess I call them a dry creek, but it's basically just a runoff from the little valley right here.
It's a spring.
It is a spring.
This is a spring that runs through here, and we call it a brook. And it's kind of hard. We don't have a name for the brook yet. We thought of one, but it's up for a name.
And this goes right into the Forestville Creek then.
Yep, and there's many of them that do, so that's why it runs cold always.
And we're a little ways from the office, or quite a little ways, but even all of these sites have full hookups in them. And that is so unique. I mean, you've got the little brook dividing that part of the campground and this part of the campground, but yet it's all put together the same.
And with Wi-Fi. This big loop area is for the children to play in, and there'll be several different families all playing one big game, and that dirt pile down there. But this campground doesn't have structures for kids to play in. It's all nature.
Right.
And John once told a guy who asked, "What is there for kids to do?" And John says, "I promise you, when your kids get out of your vehicle, they will always have something to do."
Yes.
And they play with each other, they ride bikes with each other, there's games here, volleyball. And then they get to come up to the office, each one once a day, and get a sucker, and then I get to see all the kids.
Sure.
That's what I like.
Yep. Yep. And you almost single-handedly maintain the atmosphere in this campground.
That's
Almost
right.
almost by
pretty
yourself.
much.
Yep. He has help with the mowing, and that's about it.
Yeah, that is incredible. You do a fantastic job. It is so neat and clean, as neat as a pin, as they say.
Well, let's face it, nobody wants to come to a campground that's got trash or weeds laying around everywhere and looks crummy.
That's right. That's right. How long have you been here, John? How long have you lived here?
14 years.
14 years. And you're originally from southern Minnesota.
Yes.
Yeah. So what brought you here to want to do this? It was your wife.
Mother asked us to buy. My sister Lois and Mother Zola May started this campground in 1989. And then it worked out that they asked us to buy it in 93, but my sister continued to run it until the spring of '02, and then we all worked together. One person and another will call this a little slice of heaven, a little piece of heaven. Over and again we hear it.
I believe it.
people have been married, have their weddings. The preacher stands with his back, and then the couple enter from there. And we have it all decorated with flowers. We have flower pots around, and some of the seasonals bring their flower pots, and so it's not decorated perfectly, but it's beautiful and relaxed. And this course is...
It's hard to find a more suiting background than the calmness of the stream, the temperature of the stream. It's just the sound of the birds in the background. It's difficult anywhere to duplicate.
Funny thing about them fish, they swim. Maple Springs, right? I remember Doris said that these are all native brown trout, haven't been stocked since the 70s. What do you got? Another little brown? There's some big ones in here apparently, but I can see why they can get big because it's tough fishing. How's he look? Nice? Oh yeah. Boy, oh boy. Good for the frying pan there. Oh, there's a lot. John told me that one of the customers, one of the RV people last week had a big one on. He couldn't get them in. He didn't have a net. Can't believe you need a net, but they're wild fish, boy, I'll tell you.
Fish on. Yeah, see? Jersey boy can do it, huh?
Well, I'm right here in the store at Maple Springs Campground with Doris. And Doris, would you tell us a little bit about where this store came from and its uniqueness and how it got here and what you do with it?
This store actually began in 1946, being built in Preston as the Whitegate Cafe. And when it was closed, and then Olmsted Medical Center wanted to use the property, so the building had to be removed, and we were able to bring it here and set it up on our property for the office of Maple Springs Campground. And over the years, we've added odds and ends of things that campers enjoy or will forget to bring, and kids like to get the suckers. Every little kid gets a sucker every day.
And the ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
Yeah, and I
Milk
see you have some homegrown things here too. I mean, not necessarily yourself, but from local people that bring
Yep.
their goods in.
Yep, that's right. We have
And-
honey and fresh jellies.
And syrup. And there's a little bit of a display over here with some fly tying.
Mostly
your husband.
those are made. Those spinners are made by John Eggers from Rochester. He and Ron Shera made some on the bank of Forestville Creek a couple of years ago, and that was part of Ron Shera's program.
And he aired that. And
Yep.
That was I'll bet
In
that
May.
was an awesome experience. There's a lot of nice things here. Now, do you get just your own campground customers here, or do you get customers from another part of the country here?
Yeah, Forestville State Park sends their people over here, keeping them from having to drive clear to Spring Valley or Preston for maybe a loaf of bread or
Yeah.
Band-Aid or batteries,
Yeah.
just anything,
I know-
ice and wood.
A lot of the state parks anymore don't have the small necessities that people ask for, and it's nice that they can just come 2 miles up the road, and some of them even bike here, I'm sure,
Yes, they do.
or even ride a horse.
Yep.
There's beautiful horse trails down here in this part of the state, but they can buy just about anything they need from you.
Well, they say we have everything. Others say if we don't have it, you don't need it. But there's always something someone asks for that we don't have.
Sure. Here we are at the house, and this house is just an incredible house for its age. Doris, when was the house built?
In 1907, and it was built of native black walnut lumber. It's sturdy and as strong as the day it was built.
It is, you know, and I've been in the house and down the basement, and the basement is the timbers are just as square and solid as it's like if they were cut and hewn yesterday.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. It's good shingles on the house. It's a nice 3-bedroom house, 2-bath, or I should say bath and a half. I'm sorry. Beautiful kitchen, beautiful hardwoods on the floor. It's just one of those local houses that just will stay forever.
And all brand new windows.
And all brand new, yes, brand new vinyl windows and doors. And if you look beyond the field here and the tree line, and not the bushes so much, but the tree line is the property line up there that is roughly 17 acres that can be developed into RV sites. It's very, very appealing because of the overlook and down into the Forestville Creek from up there. And this is another one of those trees of the 2 here on the property that is got to be 100 years old. And it's such a beautiful thing to see. I mean, if people can wake up in their house in the morning, look out the window and look across this grand meadow and these beautiful trees. And the entire campground is there for us to see straight out of the window of the house.
And the coolness of this valley is amazing.
It is.
Because it has the cool river and the trees. There's coolness in the trees that will come.
And they hold the temperature, don't they? They
Yes,
hold
they
it
do.
so well. And out on the flats today, on our way down here, I'll tell you, it had to be 90 degrees and 75% humidity. And when we started coming down the driveway and into the campground, it was a noticeable change.
Yes, it always
Very,
is.
very comfortable, noticeable change.
And there's more oxygen down here because of all of that than there is, say, in Rochester, where one of our seasonals actually lives. But he stays down here, he and his wife, because he feels better, and he's a very serious cancer patient. Mm-hmm. So he needs to feel good.
Yes.
And we have another cancer patient here that's next to our trailer. They just came in yesterday. They'll be here a month or more for Mayo Clinic. We get a lot of Mayo Clinic people.
Yeah, yeah. And across this, you've got off to the right, you've got horse tie-ups for the equestrian people that love to bring their horses and go on trail rides.
Yes.
And then off to the left, looking north, is just beautiful, beautiful RV sites. And they're so big and so open and so relaxed feeling. You know, and to me, that seems to be part of the draw.
Yes, it is.
So here we have horse tie-up areas.
And under them is lime, so when they tie their horse, then it has lime to stand in and not mud.
Mud or
The self-made mud. And one is a double site, because we had one family that came with 5 horses, so we specifically made a site for them.
Nice.
And each site has a fire ring and a picnic table.
Mm-hmm.
Electricity, we do run water overground because we haven't dug in water, but.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this area is for regular camping, and that has water and electric. And at the end of the grass is the bank of the river of Forestville Creek.
Yeah, this is pretty deep right here. That's why they come up on this side instead of over there on the other side.
Southeast Minnesota. Pretty unique fishing. Get a good workout doing it this way, I'll tell you what. And man, is it fun. These are beautiful fish. So different up down here rather. Looks like a nice little rainbow. Oh, that would be what we call the long distance release. There it goes, right back to that hole. Oh, there we go. Look at there. How much fun is this? How much fun is this, Mike Wolf? Come here, buddy. Oh, it's a nice rainbow. Switched over to a red hook. Was using orange earlier today and caught a few fish. Tell you what, these fish don't need much, they don't need much for a hiding spot. There's just some dark spots out there. And if you pitch near it and get the current to drift it through, it's unbelievable. Just throwing a crawler out, switch to a red hook like I say, it's been doing pretty well. You know, we're in one of the creeks down here in southeast Minnesota. They claim, look at that nice rainbow. They claim there's 4 and 5 pound brown trout down here. But for now, we'll take our 12-inch rainbows home and put them in the frying pan. There we go again. Ooh, this one's a little bigger too. Man, oh man, how can you beat this? Fishing these streams for these trout. It is fun. And the nice thing down here in southeast Minnesota, that many mosquitoes. Just using an ultralight spinning reel and rod. Actually use it for walleyes too once in a while. Have some fun with them, but perfect gear for busting through all this brush and everything down here. Get them up here. Nice, another rainbow. Give you a look at this. Look at that beautiful fish, absolutely gorgeous.